4 months ago, I couldn't write a single line of code. And then when I was using different FP&A, different accounting systems, I kept running into different problems with them. So I figured, hey, why don't I build my own? And now I have my own finance app that runs on all my clients, saves me thousands of pounds a year in software fees. And again, I had zero coding experience. Today, I'm going to show you how to get started and what to avoid. So why did I actually build this app? Well, again, I was using these different pieces of software, and for example, they wouldn't calculate cash correctly. They would use averages, and if a supplier payment is delayed by a few months, then we couldn't model that in properly. I couldn't do the flexibility in terms of posting journals the way I wanted. There was missing features, and these kind of features and things were really important to my clients, and I was having to do 3 times the extra work, exporting everything to Excel, making manual adjustments, bringing it back in. So I decided, hey, why don't I just build my own? This will actually solve all my problems. And here we are again, 4 months later, and I have everything I want, and I built this with zero prior coding experience. So as you know, there's ChatGPT, there's Claude, etc. I decided to build my app using Claude Code. So you may know that there's 2 different types of Claude. There's the normal Claude Chat, and there's also Claude Code. There's also Claude Cowork, but we will maybe cover that in a different session. So Claude Chat, that's just for asking normal questions. So think of it kind of like Google. You ask a question, you get an answer back, all good. Claude Code is for actually building things. So for actually building apps, building products. So how do you actually get started with using Claude Code? That's going to be the main question. I was a little bit, maybe not scared, but apprehensive to start with. But if we think about it, Claude Chat is basically asking questions on how to do things. So the logical thing to do would be ask Claude Chat, how do I use Claude Code? So if I share screen really quickly here, then we have a look here. So how do I use Claude Code? So all you do is you ask, how do I use Claude Code? You follow the instructions. It will tell you exactly what to do. It's not that difficult. You just need to follow exactly what it tells you to do. And if you're unsure, just ask a question, just like you would do normally if you were Googling something. Just ask, I don't understand this. What do I do? Can you show me exactly where to go? You might want to maybe take a screenshot if you're unsure of something. Hey, I have this open, screenshot it, put it into Claude Chat. I don't understand this part. Can you tell me what to do? And then once you go into Claude Code, you get started. Here we go. Build a simple to-do app. So Claude Code will work in the background. Then it will start asking you questions. It will say, okay, do you want to rebuild what's already existing using Claude Code's infrastructure? Do you want to do something different? Do you want to keep working on the current phase as you go, or do you want to keep enhancing it at every step? Claude Code will work you through everything step by step. And for a simple to-do app, even if you don't really understand what's going on, you can just simply type proceed. And if you simply keep typing proceed a few times, even though you might not understand everything because it's your very first time, you'll get to see the end result. The end result, we won't run through it right now, but you will get a very simple to-do list app. And then you can start playing about with it, asking questions. And remember, Claude Code, you can also interact with it the same as Claude Chat. If you're unsure of anything, just ask directly in Claude Code or take a screenshot, paste it in, and ask a question, and you will get the answer back. So my finance app now, it is a fully integrated 3-way forecasting module with dashboards, reporting. It can pull information from other systems, all that kind of good stuff. It's really, really good. But how do I actually get started? Well, what's probably the simplest thing to do for a finance pro? Build a profit and loss account. So that's exactly how I started. I got into Claude Code and I said, hey, I want to build a simple profit and loss account. Can we get started? And then Claude built something very, very simple. And then I was like, okay, hey, can you maybe move that over there? Can you maybe change the font of this? I would like that underlined. And then Claude would come back with the changes. Then I would be like, oh, actually, can we maybe get like a little subtotal underneath there? And then Claude would come back. And then, hey, can we get some drivers? So like number of staff times staff monthly salary, etc. And can we maybe build that in as a little box we can input those kind of things? And you just keep going step by step by step by step on every single process. And again, linking back to one of our previous points in another video we did in terms of AI, AI will get you 85, 90% of the way there. When it comes to building a finance app, you need to quality review every single step. You cannot just go, hey, build me a finance app, Claude, and it's going to build you something that works. Because finance is so important for accuracy, you're presenting financial data to the clients. Everything's got to be done step by step, and you just build out your features step by step. Don't do it all at once. Start small and build, enhance, build, enhance, build, enhance, and always check at each step. So, building a finance app, what I get asked every single time when I do a webinar in my app is, how secure is it? Building security into any kind of finance app, if you're going to be using it on real client data, is extremely important. You may have heard in the news, Claude Mythos is a cybersecurity tool that actually managed to penetrate the NSA in under a couple of days, and it was actually pulled off the market. So Claude itself is actually really, really good at security and security audits. And there is another tool called Aikido, aikido.com, which will also detect any security issues in your code. And you can also run something called a penetration test. So a penetration test is basically when an external company will use ethical hacking and also send an army of bots at your app to try and specifically break it. Things like this are really, really important to get in place for a finance app. You also need to make sure your backend database is secure. So for example, I use something called Supabase, and we need to make sure like row level security is turned on everything. Two-factor authentication is turned on for everything. The front end is built on Vercel. We need 2FA on that. We need to make sure any extracts are blocked from any kind of JavaScript injections, etc. There's a whole load of security stuff. We need two-factor authentication. We need CAPTCHA. We need GDPR compliance, all that kind of good stuff. So when dealing with any kind of finance app, you need the security side, the legal side, the data side, all covered. Do not build a finance app that is not secure and use it on your client data. You are asking for trouble. So you'll have seen before, hey, post on LinkedIn, 1,000 likes. Oh yeah, just comment Claude Code and I will send you this file that will become your CFO and do everything for you. That's nonsense. And if you're thinking about building a finance app and you think you can just type into Claude Code, build me a finance app and it's going to work, that's nonsense too. The reason my finance app works and it's really, really accurate, good, legally compliant, etc., and actually balances for everything on the finance is because I have 18 years experience in finance, in systems. I can bridge that last 10%. I know what to look for. If I tried to build a legal app, I would have no idea. Sure, I could build something that looked great. It would get 85% of the way there. But if I tried to sell that and clients started using it and it gave wrong advice, that would not be a good situation. So if you are thinking of building any kind of app, especially a finance app, you better be sure that you have that years of knowledge in terms of both finance and systems to be able to produce something that can be used on the market and can be used safely and efficiently for your clients. So the question you might be asking is, well, should I build my own finance app or should I just keep using tools that are off the market? So I spent the last 4 months building my own finance app while running a fractional CFO firm full time. I did it in evenings and weekends. I basically had no life for 4 months apart from building an app and running a fractional CFO firm. So should you build your own? You should if, number one, you have the time and you genuinely enjoy it. Number two, you have a lot of experience. You have been a senior finance professional for a long time. You know what to look for in terms of the finances. And number three, you are good at systems. You understand things. You understand how APIs can link together, all that kind of good stuff. If you do not have the time, the experience, or the systems understanding, then you should just use an app that is available on the market at the moment, because you have a business to run, or you may be a senior manager in a company. You do not want all your time distracted building some finance app when something on the market can get you 95% of the way there. Reason I built my own is because things on the market for my specific use case could only get it 80% of the way there. And I'm experienced and I love systems and it's kind of like a hobby and I have no life anyway, so I built my own. I spoke about my finance app. I actually done a long webinar on this where I spoke exactly about the entire process from start to finish in terms of the build, all the cool features like dashboards, forecasting, reporting, pulling in data from other sources, all that kind of good stuff. It's a really, really, really interesting session if you're ever interested in looking at what you can do in Claude Code for a finished finance app. You want to watch it? Click here.